remove the wheel, use a 22mm socket, take the lug nuts off. And take the wheel off. Now carefully remove this upper bolt. You don't have to take the bolt completely out, but take this nut off, use a 15/16 wrench or a 24mm wrench. Slide it on there and use a 24mm socket on the bolt side. Loosen it up. I'm just going to push in on the top part of the rotor and just take the bolt and slide it out slightly. You don't have to pull the bolt out completely, just enough to get it out of the arm. Just be careful. This is going to come slightly forward, and the arm did go up a little bit. We need to remove this nut and the bolt, but before I do that, there is a cam right here that is an adjustment for the alignment. And to make it as close as possible when you put it back together, just take a mark and just make a mark. Then at least when you put it back together, it will be close so that when you drive down the road to go have an alignment done, at least you won't burn your tires out. Keep in mind the location of where the upper arm is in relation to the knuckle when you're taking it apart. Once we take that nut loose, this is going to drop down a little bit. When you put the new one in, you want this indexed in a very close location. On the back side of the bolt, I'm going to use a 21mm wrench. Just hold that from spinning. And then on the front, on the nut, I'm going to use a 21mm swivel socket. If you don't have a swivel socket, you can probably use 2 wrenches and get it started. And take this nut off. Now I can slide this cam off, or little washer cam. Set that aside and take the bolt out. And grab the arm and just slide it up. Now take the new arm and slide it in position. Slide the bolt through. And take this cam washer, line this up. Try to get your line lined up as close as you can. Get the nut on. Put the wrench on. You can adjust the cam accordingly. Tighten this up. And before I snug it down, just make sure the arm's located where it was. You can put something under here, a pen or something. That's about right. It is recommended that you replace this bolt when performing this job and torque this nut to 52 foot-pounds and then an additional 60 degrees. It's going to be hard to get an angle meter up in this area, so do the best you can. Now we can line this side up of the control arm, just push on the knuckle. You can use a pry bar, try to pry this down. You can take a Phillips head screwdriver or something that you can pry this over with, just to get the bolt started. And take the nut, get the nut back on. Now we'll snug this up. And again, like the other bolt, it is recommended that you replace this bolt when doing this job. When you tighten this nut up, you want to tighten this to 111 foot-pounds. And then an additional 90 degrees. And if you don't have an angle meter, do the best you can. Put the wheel on and the lug nuts. Now I'm going to torque these lug nuts to 111 foot-pounds in a cross pattern so that it tightens the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check. You want to keep in mind, after you're done doing this job, you want to bring the vehicle to a local garage to have it aligned so that you don't have premature tire wear.